What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are new to the show, I am your host, Rashid, and on the other side of the park there, we have Beric, the other hosties. And today we have special guest, Kenneth Murray. He's actually rejoining us today. And of course, we're going to be talking about the actual
Kenneth to the Murray.
Kenneth Murray shooting and the cancellation of the playoffs, which actually resumed though.
They haven't resumed yet.
Yeah. So, Beric, take us off, baby. Take us off, man.
Well, like we're going to jump into this situation with the postponement of 6 playoff games from yesterday and today. Today being the 27th of August. So now we have been told by the NBA that they will be resuming these games that were postponed today, Friday, or possibly Saturday. They have not reached a definitive day. Right now, we are talking about this because it began with the Milwaukee Bucks. They decided they were going to not play their game due to what happened to Jacob Blake in Wisconsin. Wisconsin state legislature said, hey, listen, we're going to address all measures about police accountability, brutality, and criminal justice. This is what the Milwaukee Bucks are looking to hear, along with every other player. So now we are stepping to the next level where it was told that Mr. Blake did have a knife. He was in not possession of the knife. The knife was on his floorboard of his car. He somehow later admitted to this while he is basically locked up in a hospital, basically unable to move whatsoever. In other words, he is probably paralyzed from the waist down. Now, with that being said, is at a point now where there was a reason for the police officers to chase after Mr. Blake. They said they tried to use a taser machine on him, were unable to subdue him. He went around trying to get to his kids on the opposite side of the car, and they believed that he was reaching for something, and later on found out it was a knife. Shot him 7 times in the back. With that being said, the Milwaukee Bucks, since it happened in the state of Wisconsin, were the first to basically postpone the games that would happen in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So, with that being said, do I agree with the decision of the NBA players taking a stance based off the information I just gave, based off the information that was released today? Yesterday I would say, no, you know what? These guys really have to sit up here and understand something. They're being paid. They're being paid by a company to go out there and perform. Unfortunately, right now, everyone's been given a platform in which to use, a power in which to use, to basically use their ability to boycott and go from there. It's really hard now to give a definitive answer because you want movement, you want action. I just don't think the action is going to be taken this particular way when we can sit there and loot in the streets and postpone games and things of that nature and hope that it will change. Did it change what happened in Minneapolis? No, it didn't. And why it didn't stop anything? Because look what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Very simple. So with that being said, I don't really believe taking these kind of stands is going to work. There has to be a line drawn in the sand. And more importantly,
right,
we're talking about these cops.
Hold on for a minute. I want to play a LeBron James clip right over here, which is actually somewhat profound, and I want you guys to listen to this. It's about a 1-minute clip, and
sir, I'm having no.
Kenneth, you there? You make a statement, Kenneth, and then I want to play this LeBron James clip, and I actually want to see whether you guys actually agree with this or not. Go ahead, Kenneth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gentlemen, I'll play the clip first, sir, okay?
All right.
Some people get tired of hearing me say it, but we are scared of like in America. Like men, black women, black kids, we are terrified. But you don't know. You have no idea. You have no idea how that cop that day left the house. You don't know if he walked on your side of the bed. You don't know if he walked on the wrong side of the bed. You don't know if he had an argument at home with a significant other. You know, if one of his kids said something crazy to him and he left the house steaming. Or maybe he just left the house saying that today is going to be the end for one of these black people. That's what it feels like. Guns are a huge issue in America. They're not used for just hunting, you know, that a lot of people do for sport. You know, right now for black people, right now we are hunting, we think it's on us, unfortunately.
All right, that was LeBron James, and he said that we're scared as black people here. And the thing is LeBron James actually scared by police officers? And if you read LeBron James' body language, he doesn't actually believe this, man. He's trying not to really laugh. What it looks like. It's like somebody's almost paying him to actually say this. If you actually just look at the clip and read his body language, man, it's just like he doesn't even believe the things that he's actually even saying. Kenneth, your take.
Okay, here's the deal. LeBron James is trying to play both sides of the coin. He wants to be a pro-black individual saying that, you know, we as the people, da-da-da-da-da, but he wants to do that and not offend his white benefactors. So that's how I look at it.
Barrett, you heard what Mr. LeBron James had to say. Do you concur or do you not concur?
I don't concur. I don't concur with LeBron James. I don't concur with LeBron James because he has to speak for himself, number one. Number two, you know, me as an African-American man, let me make myself perfectly clear. And I've made this comment numerous times, both on and off the air, in regards to my experiences with either myself or more or less a family member being abused by the police officers. And this has been going on since the 70s as far as my recollection. I have not been in fear because I've realized that it's better to absorb this and learn from it and try to educate myself moving forward to help the young crowd around me, my family members, my peers, and how to deal with certain things. For example, traffic stops. The type of things that we're seeing normally on these cameras have usually been traffic stops. Where does it normally happen? In the streets around the car. That's where these cops have been coming at us. We're driving a car and they pull us over and they ask for identification and we can become combative and say, why, officer, why are you stopping me? Based on other things that happened beforehand. That's what I see. So I do not concur with it. I understand where he's going with it. Okay, it's debatable whether or not the man is being told to do it, being paid to do it, or it's coming from his own heart. We do not know that. But I'm just giving you my perspective on what he said based on what I've seen. So I'm not in fear because I think it's better to educate ourselves as African-American men moving forward past these points in order to make sure we don't become those guys being pulled over, and or if we do, what's the best way in which to handle it? That's my perspective on that.
Well, I'm glad that because what we need to do is we need to define the role of the police. Okay? We need to define the role of the police. The role of the police is to serve and protect the system that rules over the people. The role of the police is to enforce the relationship between the oppressed and the oppressor. The system does not allow the police to do justice. The system wants the police to be heavy-handed, which means a rough, hard hit. Now, the police are not fit to be the caretakers of justice. It is only when a police officer puts justice first that they can rightfully be the caretakers of justice.
Okay. Do you also believe, Kenneth, they need to be retrained? Because let me say this. Reason why I bring up the training concept, because what this officer did in Scotia, Wisconsin, a couple of days ago was not training. You don't chase a man behind, grab his shirt, and shoot him 7 times in the back. That's not training. Okay?
Well, listen, the officers had given him lawful commands. He had a felony warrant out for his arrest.
Come on.
Wait,
Let's not even go there. We're gonna go there,
man. We're gonna go there.
Why? Why are we gonna go there? Because there's no need. We're not gonna blast.
This ain't no damn ESPN. This ain't no damn Fox Sports.
Listen, we're not gonna be blasphemous on this guy because he has some kind of warrant. It makes no sense whatsoever.
He had a felony warrant out for
it. Doesn't matter. It makes no sense to chase this man down, grab him by the shirt, and shoot him 7 times.
So what are they gonna do? I mean, if he's resisting arrest, he fought the officers.
Stop.
What do you want him to actually do?
Stop right there. Come on. Stop right there, bro. Stop right there. The man is shot 7 times in his back. Do you not get that? Do you not understand that? The man is shot 7 times in his back.
You're contradicting yourself, man. You said that he was reaching for something. That was the info that came out.
What I said was, he later made a statement stating that he had a knife on the floorboard of his car. You can rewind it because that's what I said. Now, we don't know if that's what he was reaching for or what he was going to go get his kids. We don't know that. You understand that? We do not know that. What we do know is he was being chased from behind the car. He went to the front door side of the driver's side, and he was grabbed from behind and shot 7 times. That's what we do see.
Yeah. We don't know what was actually. I actually served on a jury, and so did Barrick. And not everything is actually open and shut, you know? So we can't just go by the story and everything, you know?
Let me be very, very clear. Anytime a shooting of this incident occurs, there is always a weapon found. He was reaching for something. There is always something of that nature. Do you not realize that this officer could have shot individuals in his car? You understand that? The gentleman had somebody in his car. Okay.
3 kids.
Thank you very much. So obviously,
but he's reaching for a weapon now. He's actually putting
again. I said we don't know what he was doing. He opened the car door. He was pulled from behind and shot 7 times. That's what we see.
What he's actually doing though? That's
they
the main
are
thing.
assuming.
He just caught him.
Yeah, but they're assuming he's reaching, bro.
And remember, it was a domestic. So they had to be called to this situation over here. You know, they had to be called here. So you know how domestic disputes can be, man. Sometimes you had officers that got killed in domestic disputes answering these calls. So these could be very violent. And looking at his criminal history,
you are being very, very apologetic on behalf of the police.
No, I'm looking at it as a defense attorney, and I'm looking at it as a prosecutor.
Please don't, because you're neither. Because you're neither right now. What you need to understand is what we're going through.
My thing is that you have to take the emotion out of this. You got to take the emotion out.
Emotional? Who's emotional? You sound like a robot. So you say that all the time.
The man got shot 7 times. That could have been.
Matter?
Okay. Yes, I am emotional because this happens too often. Okay. Let's go back.
Too often, really? Out of 40 million black people, it happens too often.
Let's go back to a clear-cut case. Andre Castillo. He told the officer he had a weapon. All of a sudden, they shot. Okay? The bottom line is that any type of shooting of this nature, the police are always justified because he went for a weapon. He did this. He did that.
That's the way they write it. That's the way they write it in their report to justify their action.
Hold on. We got to pause. We're gonna go into we're gonna go into part 2 of this. We're keeping these at a minimum somewhat. But we're going into part 2. All right.